This is the ICP 1 month overview reading for February 2023. It's currently January 17th, 2023, 1:27 a.m. Eastern Time. The overall theme and behavior for the month, we have a fast, sudden move higher crossed with erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level in the midst of which we revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. And it looks like that's in line with possibly two highest highs here. There's also a notable move to the upside towards the very end of the month. Behavior around the highest high, we have a price swinging, so that'll either be like big, like on the scale of a multi-day chart, and or right around the high there should be some price swinging. Behavior around this lowest low for the month, we establish key support on a multi-day kind of scale. We establish key support. There's a big move to the upside standing out on a 1 month scale, and then we establish support at a higher level, and that's kind of like what we do out of the low. It's also important to notate that the lowest low and the highest high are within close proximity to each other, which would also be in line with what happens off of the low. We have the low, we establish support, big move to the upside, reestablish support. You can see the Ace of Swords here as an important price level that we would probably turn into support momentarily. What else do I see here? It looks like... okay, so another important thing to point out, Hermes, I know it sounds silly, but Hermes is a little messenger for me. I named him Hermes for a reason. He's never done this before. He actually ate... I do something with these sticky notes as part of my process, and he actually ate the ICP sticky note, which I thought was really noteworthy. We should see something really significant happening here. Another thing to point out is that we have Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, Ace of Discs, Ace of Swords. Never in all the thousands of readings that I've done have I seen all four aces consecutively back to back like that. I've probably seen all four aces in one reading, like maybe once or twice, if even. So there's going to be significant price swinging here. Some really important stuff going on, and it's also interesting on the, I believe it was the flux reading that I did, there was clairvoyance that really stood out on the 11th. It had to do with an agreement between two leaders or a merger of some kind. Something, I wonder if they're related. On the first, we have sideways rotation, increasing with bullish momentum as we move forward into the day. On the second, we decline through a support level to meet a second support level and rotate sideways along that support. That's on the scale of a multi-day. On the third, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance. It's resistance that we had just recently attempted to break through and failed, followed by the false establishment of support, and then we come, and that all happens prior to this disappointment card, where we come back and we try to break through that resistance that we'd already tried to fail, or that we'd already failed through. It looks like it was probably on some resistance on the 28th is my sense, probably on the 28th. So we might see that again here on the 3rd, and then we decline through the support that we established here on the 1st, 2nd. On the 4th, there's an unexpected move to the upside. Looks like towards the end of the day, after a bit of a decline into the day. That move to the upside might continue into the 5th. Yeah, it continues into the 5th. I'm advised to open up some protection there around the cusp of the 4th and the 5th, and I'll get into that in the paid version. On the 6th, so we rally along on the 5th, we rally along a diagonal trend line, increasing with momentum as we move forward into resistance, and then there's a notable decline off of that. On the 6th, we're rotating sideways. There's a prominent trough for the month here on the 5th, 6th. What's a prominent trough versus the lowest low? This would be a lowest low on a chart, on this specific chart. This would be a lowest low, but these are prominent troughs. Prominent trough, prominent trough, prominent trough. The lowest low is considered a prominent trough, but it's also the lowest price level. This is a prominent trough, so you get it. Highest high, prominent crest, prominent crest. Hopefully that makes sense. So we should see a prominent trough on the 4th, 5th, on the 5th, 6th cusp. We rotate sideways There may even be a lower low on the 6th towards the end of the day or on the cusp of the 6th, 7th. And then there's a fast sudden move higher marking the end of that sideways rotation. On the 7th, we're bumping along resistance. We may break through, but we're bumping along resistance. And then there's a prominent crest or peak for the month there on the 8th, from which there's a notable decline. The crest and peak and the notable decline both standing out on a 1 month. On the 9th, we rally notably higher early in the day. It's like a fast sudden move higher early in the day after establishing support on a multi-day kind of scale. There's a fast sudden move higher, and then we break down through a key support level into a prominent low or a lowest low, either there on the 9th or the 10th, probably on the cusp early, early on the 10th there. Because the 9th, we have this fast sudden move higher correlating. There's a couple of things saying fast sudden move higher on the 9th. Trade opportunity there. There's a ton of trade opportunities here on the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, even on the 8th. I'll get into that in the paid version. Oh, and the paid version, guys. So if you're interested in the paid version, go to the website tarotfortraders.com. Our services. Click on Eso-Meta forecast, learn more. Click on here. Type in the ticker you're interested in. And monthly subscription, $29 a month, is way underpriced, guys. This is going up on the 19th to $50 a month. It will never come back to $29 a month ever. If you're interested in getting that deal and grandfathering it in at least for the next year or so, you're going to want to do that before the 19th of the month of January. And thank you very much for your support, because what that'll do is that'll get you the paid version, which includes the best trades that we see throughout the month, as well as gets you the information ahead of the public version where you get that earlier than everybody that's getting the public version, and the public version, just to be clear, doesn't have that best trade information. Much appreciated, my friends. It's a super helpful way to help. It's probably the best way to support the channel. Okay, so we get into this erratic behavior. So we have this prominent crest with a sharp decline, then this move higher on the 9th, followed by a decline through key support. We're declining into the 10th. We're declining into the 10th, another trade opportunity there, and then in the 11th, looks like we may revisit a crest on the 10th, 11th as well. See, there's the highest probable location of the highest high there on the 11th, on the 10th, 11th, when we establish support at a higher level, at least momentarily, and then there's that key resistance highlighted. It's probably the same price level that we established as support on the 12th, where it's back to resistance. We declined pretty strong from that resistance level throughout the day on the 12th. On the 13th, we're bound by a range. Looks like it's the upper end of a range on the 13th. Yeah, it's the upper end of a range. And then there's a sharp dip after some sideways rotation. On the 14th, we move there's a notable move to the upside. I don't think we'll be higher than where we were on the 11th, but there's a notable move to the upside on the 14th. On the 15th, the sideways S formation. This is also where we have another fast sudden move higher standing out on a 1 month. And then there's sideways S formation. So in the midst of like this fast sudden move higher, the majority of the behavior throughout the day will be a decline from resistance to support, a reversal all the way back to resistance, and then a reversal all the way back to support. That's usually horizontal resistance and support, but sometimes it's at an angle like two trend lines. Sorry guys, I have something in my throat. On the 16th, we establish support. Looks like at the upper end of a range. We attempt to establish support, and then on the 17th, there's a period of volatility that ends with a fast sudden move higher. It looks like volatility continues into the early on the 18th, and then there's this like unexpected move higher. Everybody's expecting, like, even in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds on the 18th, we still are moving higher, and there's a prominent crest or peak there towards the end of the day on the 18th. With a sharp decline on the 19th through multiple support levels on a 1 month scale. we may have a bit of a gap up over the weekend. Either that or there's a big move to the upside early not over the weekend, overnight. And either it's a gap up overnight or it's a big move early in the morning on the 20th. It could be both. But there's a notable move and then another prominent crest there towards the end of the day on the 20th. So likely big decline off of that crest or peak on that cusp of the 18th, 19th to a prominent trough, and then back to a prominent crest. There's 3 pokes through the same price level there on the 20th, followed by a sharp decline after that third poke. And then on the 21st, an important resistance levels highlighted. Volume kind of flattens out around that price level. Bearish price swings on the 22nd with a sharp drop that'll stand out. On the 23rd, we're rotating sideways along key support on a multi-day. We rise to meet the nearest critical resistance, and then we fall back down and continue rotating sideways. On the 24th, there's an intentional fake out, shake out of some sort. There's some sort of misdirection created through chart pattern. With a prominent crest or peak towards the late morning session, and then a sharp decline, it looks like, with a fake out in the midst of a sharp decline. On the 25th, we're rallying along a diagonal trend line until we have this fast sudden move higher, and a sharp drop through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. Prominent crest or peak there on the 26th. In the midst of multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. And it looks like a notable move higher, standing out on at least a 1 day there towards the end of the day on the 26th. And we have another high probable location. I'm sensing another high somewhere around like the 26th, 27th, 28th. 26th, 27th, somewhere around there. Remember, there's this big move higher towards the end of the month. We see that here, big move higher here on the end of the 26th, and highest high probable location. And then we have a decline that ends with a fast sudden move higher on the 27th. I'm sorry, guys, something with my throat. And then an important decision between 2 leaders, or a merger of some kind, some sort of decision between 2 leaders highlighted here on the 28th. Same card I saw on the 11th for the flux reading. And there's usually like a holding pattern with the pop and drop involved in the Lovers card. An important resistance level highlighted again in March, and it looks like it may be the same resistance level that we see on the around the 21st, like the 23rd, or sorry, the 20th and the 21st. There's a resistance level there that may be of some like notable importance in March. But just be careful. Something super important happening around, like, my sense is around like the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Something super important, and I think probably not good for ICP. Well, maybe not that it's not good, but something that's very important. It'll stand out. And that's ICP for the month of February 2023. My friends, let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Most importantly, my friends, make sure that you follow the rule of karma. The rule of karma is part of the channel. It's innate within the magic of this information that we're bringing to you. There's metaphysical attributes to this information. It's a combination of a bunch of different types of esoteric analysis or esoteric sciences mixed with pattern recognition that was developed over 23 years. Guys, there's a lot to it, and if you don't follow the rule of karma, you're cutting off the flow of abundance that will come to you from utilizing this information. You could be right, follow the information, be right, and still something would happen that would prevent you from making money if you choose not to follow the rule of karma. I promise you. So every time you make money from the information in these readings, it is critical that you follow the rule of karma. Every time. Doesn't matter if it's $1, doesn't matter if it's $100,000. Make sure you follow that. And you can send your rule of karma to here, the resources tab on our website, PayPal, Cash App. 5% in the grand scheme of things is not a lot of money, my friends. A stockbroker would have charged you probably close to 5 to 6%, whether or not you made money. And that's 5 to 6% of the total investment, not the profit. We're talking about 5% of the profit if you make money. So with that said, guys, much appreciated. I'm seeing more and more people do that, and it really is important and critical for the channel that people do that. Much appreciated to see it happening more and more because it's a really beautiful thing. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to get into the paid version, or the paid portion, where we get into the best trades that we see throughout the month. Thanks for watching.